I will embrace technology. I will earnestly seek to learn, test, and experience new technology. I will use technology to become more efficient and productive and help customers use technology how I do. Uh, the other day, I was talking to my wife about back before we had kids. And it was so interesting that before we had kids, we had a lot of great ideas about how to parent. In fact, we would see somebody out with their kids or whatever, and we would kind of talk about it and say, like, well, they need to do this and they need to do that, and they really need to improve on their discipline because their kids are out of hand and everything else. And now having kids, it's funny to reflect back on that and realize how much that we didn't practically know. The principles that we knew were correct, but there's a big difference between knowing principally, how to parent. It's really easy to say, oh, you just, you gotta to teach them respect, and you gotta teach them discipline, and you've got to love them. Yeah, those are all true things, and anybody, whether they have kids or not, can say that and be right about that. But it's a whole nother thing to really be able to practically do that. And I know for us that, we have single friends now that, tell us ideas about how to raise kids, and it's always funny. It's like, okay, I can see where you're coming from and why that sounds like a good idea, but that's not really going to work. And then those who, have, 3 or 4 or 5 kids that are especially older, and that they're looking back and saying, hey, this is what we did, this is what worked and what didn't work. And that is so helpful because they've been in our shoes and they've walked that path, and they know what it's like. And not that we can take exactly what they say and implement it, but it's so helpful in that process because they have embraced parenting. In the same way, we need to embrace technology. Slappy's focus is helping businesses be better in their business, and we look at solving not just technology problems, but business problems with the use of technology. How can we do that effectively if not every single one of us is embracing technology to the fullest extent? If the people in accounting are not using technology to the best way to do accounting, if people in the facilities department or cost containment, the technicians, the help desk, the salespeople, and everybody else that's in between all those areas, if we are not doing it ourselves, we are not able to advise our customers. And our customers, it's like a customer asked me the other day, Will, how do you use this technology? And I could show them, hey, this is how it's impacted my world. This is what I do with it. This is how it's made our company better, more efficient, and more effective. Because what they really want to know is, I hear you're trying to sell me this, and it sounds like a great idea, but tell me practically, how does it work? And that's what, whether you're getting parenting advice or you're trying to advise somebody on technology, it's the same thing. The people that you're getting advice want to know, have you been there? Have you done that? And do you really know how this is working? And that brings the credibility to what you're saying. And not just the credibility, but the practical aspect of knowing that this really will help them. So, and a lot of times, especially if you're not in a position that you're really interacting with the customer on day to day, you may not see as much the importance of this, but you are just as important, because those of us who are interacting with customers, if you've got to help us, because if something like a collaboration tool, if only one person is using a collaboration tool, you're not going to be able to feel the full effect of it. But if we're all using it, then we as a whole team, and then I can say, hey, well, you know what? This is how I interact with my accounting team with this tool, and this is how it helps us, even though accounting may not be in front of the customers all the time. So it's important for all of us as a whole to embrace technology so we can show other companies, hey, this is what it can look like when everybody does it. So I know you guys do this a lot. I'm kind of beating a dead horse here, but let's really focus on, hey, yeah, maybe we're at a 9 in embracing technology, but that doesn't mean we can't be a 9.5 and 9.9, and eventually maybe we'll get to a 10, although, there's always room for improvement. Something new will come out tomorrow. So we always got to keep, running ahead so we can be the best and help our customers be the best.